Before this evening's council meeting, the council met in executive session for approximately an hour and a half. Present for that executive session were the mayor, the director of administration, the finance manager, the members of council, the township engineer, and me. No official action was taken during that executive session. No official action will be required at this evening's council meeting as a result of that executive session, and discussed were two matters of pending litigation, and again, no official action will be required.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, and before we get started, we're going to open up with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could ask the scouts from Cornwall's Methodist, is that where you're from? Is that where your troop is? Okay, if you guys want to come up and stand along the front, and then you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? Once we get started. And your leader's allowed to come up too, as a scoutmaster, or?
You can face that direction, Jim.
Yeah, face this direction so people can, okay? And then we'll do a moment of silent meditation and prayer, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, guys, you want to lead us out for the Pledge of Allegiance? Here's the flag right here if you want. You want me to start it? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, he's coming in. Okay, Mr. Pizzo, do we have any, before we get started, is there any changes to the agenda this evening?
As there's an Eagles game tonight, I am pleased to advise you that item 12 on this evening's agenda, which is the application for Chase Bank that had been tabled to this evening's meeting as a date certain, the applicant has asked through its counsel that their attorney has a scheduling conflict this evening and is asking if the application could be tabled to the council meeting of Monday, November 28. The applicant has given us an extension of time of all applicable time limitations under the MPC through to and including December 31, 2022.
Okay. Okay, does anybody want to make a motion that we move the Chase Bank final minor subdivision
So
to
moved.
November
Sorry, to
28th?
11/28. I apologize.
Okay, that's all right, so moved. And Mr. Polari, second. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay, so that's done. And the second one, Joe?
Yes, for item number 13 on this evening's agenda, which is the land development application for Johnson Development that was also tabled to a date certain of this evening. That applicant happens to share the same attorney as the prior applicant, who has a scheduling conflict this evening. I trust he has tickets to the game.
Okay.
Yes. He's therefore asking that this evening's hearing be tabled to a date certain of November 28. And again, his client has given us an extension of time of all of the applicable time restrictions under the MPC through to and including December 31, 2022.
Okay, is there a motion to move Johnson Development to November 28th, 22?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay. Anything else, Joe?
That's all of which I'm aware, sir.
Okay. Okay, we have public comment on agenda items, but we'll have an opportunity if there is agenda items that need commenting to give you an opportunity at that point, so we'll close that portion of public comment. Approval of council minutes for the meeting date October 18th, 2022. I looked through this myself. I didn't see anything personally. Is there anybody else have any changes?
These people in the audience, you're going to have a long meeting.
Yeah, I know. Any changes to the October 18th, 2022 minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve as presented.
Okay. Mr. Polari and Ms. Benitez, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay. Okay, so amendment for the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program. Mr. Pizzo, do you have this?
Yes. As council will recall, at your meeting in October, you approved an amendment to the 2019 CARE Act funds allocations that the township had undertaken. Those were funds that the township had received as part of the COVID funding that came from the federal government. The second part of that action is now to readjust the projects so as to provide for the timely expenditure of those funds. And this needs to occur separately from your prior action because there were, if government at its finest, there were different advertising requirements for the CDBG funds as opposed to the COVID monies. So you're approving the exact same thing you did before, but you have to approve it at this meeting as opposed to the earlier meeting because the advertising requirements were different.
Okay.
So all of that being said, a motion would be in order to approve the amendment to the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program.
Okay, so it's basically the same thing we already had done. Is there a motion to approve the, as presented?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. First and a second, you got that, Deb? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay, that's good. Got it. Okay, number 5 on the agenda is consideration of resolution authorizing the filing of a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for the Bensalem Township Spray Park. Do you have this,
Yes.
Mr. Pizzo?
Certainly. As I believe council's aware, the township has been exploring through our Parks and Recreation Department constructing a spray park in the Township Community Park. The township is looking to get some grant funding through the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources to help defray the costs of the construction of that facility. They are surprisingly quite expensive. So before you is a resolution that would authorize the mayor and the township administration to submit an application to DCNR for a $500,000 grant, the proceeds of which, if granted, would go toward the construction of the township spray park.
And you're saying that that's...
The resolution is in the form as required by DCNR, and again, this is only to authorize the application for those funds.
Okay, and then this was, did you say the community park, the central community park, like at the township building?
Rich Lou, the one at Rich Lou.
Yes.
Oh, Galloway, okay.
Bensalem
Galloway,
Community
okay.
The one
Park.
at Rich Lou.
That's where it's
in Galloway.
intended, okay. Okay, so this is just to try to see if they can first get the money?
Yes,
See where we
that's
go from there?
correct.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this grant agreement or this
Motion
application?
to approve consideration of resolution authorizing and filing of grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for the Bensalem Township Spray Park.
Okay, is there a second? Second? Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, got a second? Ms. Champion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay. Number 6 on the agenda, consideration of a grant agreement regarding the open space program, deed of conservation easement, and declaration of restrictive covenants. Do you have this, Joe?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Knowles. As council is obviously aware, council approved the acquisition by the township of the former UGH Club, which has now been renamed Bensalem First Responder Fields. The property, because of the condition it was in at the time it was acquired, has required a significant amount of investment by the township to get the fields back into usable form, to install new drainage and irrigation facilities. The parking lots have been redone, new stands are being installed, so there's been a significant investment by the township in getting that facility up and running and ready for use by the community and by some of the clubs in the township in the near future. In an effort to help defray some of the costs associated with the significant investment, council several months ago approved a submission of an open space grant application with the county to preserve the property in perpetuity as open space. The county has since approved that, and again, you were previously asked to approve various documents that authorized and secured those funds on behalf of the township, the amount of which are $864,000 in round numbers. The final step in the township securing those funds and the property being preserved in perpetuity as open space is the approval and then execution of the deed of conservation easement that is presented to you this evening. The deed is in the form as been required by the county. It's been reviewed and approved by my office. The deed, when executed, will preserve all but the building where 1675 is currently located. All but that part of the property will forever be preserved as open space by the township. So this will add another, I forget the acreage up there, but it will add
It's like 15 acres or 16 acres.
those number of acres to our role of open space that's been preserved by the township. So the action that's required of council is, if you are of a mind, would be to approve the execution and recording of the deed of conservation easement and declaration of constrictive covenants with the County of Bucks for the first responders field property.
So I have a question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course, go ahead.
How is it preserved in perpetuity, just to understand that part? So we could never sell it?
No, we can sell it, but it would be sold subject to the open space restrictions, so.
Just to the
it couldn't-
size of that building?
It couldn't be sold to a developer in the future for houses. It couldn't be sold to a company in the future to construct a building. It has to be maintained forever as open space.
And if we were to replace the building on there, it could take up no more space than what it currently takes up?
That's correct. Essentially, the building area is carved out of the area of the grant.
So that impervious surface from there? And we could never build any more buildings on there for storage or anything
No,
such thereof?
we have the ability to, in certain cases, if we needed to build, let's say, a storage shed for
Soccer
lawnmowers or things of that nature, we do preserve for ourselves certain rights, but those structures would have to be ancillary to the use of the property as open space, or in this case, open space and recreation. So hypothetically, if we wanted to build a small snack stand on there, we would still have the opportunity to do
Or
so.
say bathrooms to
Or bathrooms.
make it, or a media stand or something?
Yep.
Again, something
Anything to add?
ancillary to the township's use of the property as open space or recreation space.
Okay,
Thank
it's
you.
good with you, we got that open space up at Trevor's.
I have a question, just to make sure I understand. We're deeding it to the county, they will be maintaining it?
It
Or
will
no?
still be our property. What we're giving to the county is a restrictive covenant, is what it's
Okay.
called. So we're giving them a bundle of rights. We're giving them our rights to develop the property. We're handing them over to the county in exchange for $860,000.
Okay, so they maintain the authority, and we maintain the ownership, essentially?
Yes, it's our
Okay.
property. It's still deeded in our name. We still have all of the obligations. We still have unfettered right to use it. We just can't put structures on it going forward.
We would need to get their approval?
We would need to get their approval.
Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, is there a motion to approve the open space deed of conservation easement?
I'll make the motion to
Okay, is there a
approve.
second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any against? Okay. All right, number 7 on the agenda. Consideration of reduction of permit fees for Bensalem Township School District Maintenance Department, located at 4319 Uneville Road. Do you have this, Joe?
I do. Nothing unusual here, Mr. Knowles. These are the requests that the council receives from time to time. In this case, it's from the school district. In this case, it's for township licensing and permit fees associated with Snyder Middle School fire alarm systems. The total cost for the permits and fees is $193.50, that the applicant be reduced to $99. Again, this is something that you routinely are asked to do, and you routinely have done in the past.
Okay, is there's no questions, there is a motion to approve this reduction?
So moved?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye, any against? Okay. Passes. Okay, number 8 on the agenda is consideration of resolution for the Act Number 537, Pennsylvania Sewage Facilities Act, and this is for development of parcel land identified as Green Avenue subdivision. Do you have this, Joe?
I do, Mr. Knowles. What I'm about to say would apply to agenda items 8, 9, and 10, and I give you that as a precursor so I don't have to go through it 3 times.
Okay.
An Act 537 resolution, as you know, is a sewage planning resolution that the township is required to approve pursuant to State Act 537 in order or pertaining to new construction within the township, making sure that there's adequate sanitary sewer service, conveyance and treatment for a particular project within the township. In all 3 cases for items 8, 9, and 10, these are land development projects that the township previously approved. So council's already approved these projects. One of the conditions of the approval in each case was that the applicant go out and get approval from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection and from the Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority for their sewage facilities. So each one of these resolutions is part of that process to make sure that they are able to secure from Bucks County Water and Sewer and from DEP the approvals for their sanitary sewage conveyance and treatment plans. So the first one, item number 8, and again, all 3 resolutions are in the form required by DEP. All 3 resolutions are in a form acceptable to the township and are appropriate for your consideration this evening. Agenda item 8 is a sanitary sewage planning resolution for the Green Avenue subdivision. This was submitted by Thomas Snyder. This project was previously approved by the council at your meeting of February 14, 2022. And again, the resolution is a form acceptable for your consideration and approval this evening.
Okay, and that's Green Avenue. It's off of Atlantic, Eddington Gardens, I think they call it. But, okay, so number 8. Number 8,
So moved.
we have a motion. Second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so number 8, Green Avenue subdivision is approved.
Okay.
Number 9 is for the same thing like Joe doesn't. This is for 1430 Lavender Road subdivision, Charles Walk.
That's
And,
correct.
this is in the center of Eddington Avenue and I think Eddington and
That's correct.
Lavender.
This was approved by council back on March 14, 2022.
Okay, so moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. And then, Joe, this is the Park Avenue subdivision. Is this the one at the bottom of Park Avenue?
I believe so, yes. The Robert Suida
Yep.
was the applicant. This was approved just a few months ago, back in August.
Yep. I think he's just another house with his relative. Okay, so it's so moved. Joe, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so that takes care of number 10. Number 11 on the agenda is extension of the land development agreement for Faith Unity at Richelieu and Galloway Roads. Joe, do you have this?
Yes, as council is aware, again, this is a land development project that you previously approved. They secured all the various third-party approvals, such as the Act 537 that you approved for these earlier projects, and reached the stage where they entered into land development agreements with the township. As everyone is obviously aware, site work began on the project, and then they encountered some unforeseen issues with the site work relative to groundwater on the site, and so that has delayed their progress. That being the case, the applicant has submitted to the township a land development extension agreement for your consideration. Again, this is a standard facet of land development work in the township. When the applicant gets to that point in their agreement where they haven't yet completed it within the time that was originally anticipated, they ask for council to grant such an extension. Council routinely does so with the condition that There is an audit done by the Township Finance Department and the Township Engineer to make sure that sufficient funds remain in the escrow accounts for the completion of the public improvements should the applicant fail to do so under the terms of the agreement. So the recommendation to council, this is a request for an extension out to July 27, 2023. It's the administration's recommendation the council grant the extension agreement subject to the condition as I outlined of an audit by the Finance Department and the Township Engineer.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the extension? So moved by Mr. Polari. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Ms. Benitez is a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any against? Okay, so number 11 is done. Number 12, it was moved to 1128. Number 13 was moved to 1128. Next on the agenda is public comment. Is there anybody here that would like to make public comment on any agenda items or anything else? Seeing no one come forward, we'll close public comment. Is there other business? Phil, do you have any other business?
No, sir.
Deb, do you have business? No, thank you. Okay. Mr. Pizzo, do you have any other business?
I did a lot of talking tonight to the extent that these young gentlemen who are here, I assume to get badges for attending this evening's meeting, have any questions about anything you've seen or heard? Good answer. If you have any questions that you want to ask afterwards, please feel free to come up and ask. Otherwise, congratulations and good luck. Go Birds.
Mr. Pizzo is available to explain the sewage agreements afterwards. Okay. Okay. Ms. Benitez, do you have any new business?
Just thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a quick one for you, by the way, so. Yeah. Me too. Me too. We just celebrated Veterans Day on Friday. Just want to thank all of our veterans and their families for the service, their dedicated service to our country. We love you. Thank you. We have Thanksgiving coming up. I hope you all enjoy Thanksgiving with your families. It happens to be my favorite holiday because food and fun and family. And then also just the African American Museum is having a groundbreaking ceremony at Boone's Farm in Langhorne on November 23rd at 11 a.m. So please share. And if you can join us, come on over.
That's at 413 in Bridgewater Road, correct?
I believe so,
For anyone who might be
yeah.
interested in attending.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Champion, do you have anything?
Thank you to all who served. As Ms. Benitez said, my family has a long history of serving. My father, my brother, my husband, many, many aunts, uncles, or sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, nieces, and nephews. So thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for your service as part of Boy Scouts, or Scouts of America, as I should say now. You guys do a lot of volunteer work, and you're very active, and it's great that you guys are doing this. It shows a lot of commitment. So thank you, and thank you for coming out. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy your turkey, enjoy your family, and we'll see you here at some point after the holiday.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Polari, do you have anything you would like to add?
I'll just ditto everything that was said. Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work. We're proud of our Boy Scouts that are here in Bensalem, so good job.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kisselback?
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to keep it short. Hoorah to the Marines, 247th anniversary on the day before Veterans Day, and to all our veterans, especially to my family. My son's in the Army right now as we speak. He's up in Fort Drum. Just got back from Iraq not too long ago. And my other son was a Marine and Air National Guard, so we have two of them in two different services, and I was a Navy guy, so we got them all covered in our family. But to all those who have given the service to the country, God bless you, and sorry we missed the holiday beforehand, but we thank you for everything you've done for us and continue to keep America free. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kisselback. Okay, and I would like to congratulate all the veterans. We had a couple nice services, and we certainly are proud of anybody who has served our country. And I also like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I was hearing on TV how some people want to skip go from Halloween right to Christmas, you know? So I think we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving and be grateful that you get to be Boy Scouts in the greatest country ever in the world. And enjoy our enjoy our family and friends, okay? Whatever family you have and your friends and your support system, you have a family of Boy Scouts that you're like a brotherhood, and you got to celebrate having the opportunity to be a Boy Scout and to be living in our country. That's all I got. You have something you would like to add?
Well, I just want to say, put on your calendars for the tree lighting on December 10th.
Okay.
I know we're supposed to have a meeting beforehand, but just wanted to put it out there.
Okay. Okay, with that,
We adjourn?
anything else? Motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Aye? Okay, thank you.